Ooh, here comes the countdown. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How are you today, Ron? It's
I'm-
been a fantastic Friday, hasn't it?
It's been an okay Friday. It has been I a week ago I was in Chicago and I feel like I've not gotten any sleep since. I don't know
Now,
if you can tell that.
you do look a little tired,
But
not gonna lie.
yeah, I am just exhausted. I've
You're
not been
you're
able to catch
you're
up
like
on sleep.
one step away from putting a pair of glasses on you, a hat, and a trench coat, and put you in a wheelchair and having a fantastic weekend,
Yeah.
running around with you.
Yeah, it's a weekend at Ronnie's.
Yeah, exactly. Weekend at Ronnie's.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't watched those movies since I was a kid. I should. I
There's a
should.
reason.
I'm
There's
guessing they
a
don't hold
reason.
up.
I've never seen them. I've
Really?
seen I've seen clips of them,
Yeah.
but I've never actually watched them. I mean, I watched so much crap growing up. I just felt like, you know what? I can skip this. It's fine.
Yeah, and you understand the cultural references.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean it's two guys that are up and comers, afraid something bad's going to happen to them, so they got to fake like the boss is still alive.
Right.
And then they go through the whole movie with a corpse, and then I'm guessing at the end something happens, but seemingly he doesn't. They don't reveal that
Yeah,
he's really dead
they don't
because
get in
he's
trouble.
back for a sequel.
I mean, that corpse must have been fairly terrible smelling at that point.
I would probably think so. I
Like
don't
that
know.
like that discount salami sandwich after 2 or 3 days
Mhm.
past its expiration.
Yeah.
Um, I was gonna say, actually, it's funny, the '80s seemed like a really weird time for corpses being part of a
Mhm.
movie, like, um, was it, National Lampoon's Vacation?
Yeah.
Don't they put the grandmother on the
Well,
roof?
it's Aunt Edna,
Oh,
and
and right.
the thing is that is revealed. Okay, so that's a movie that got funnier in editing, like
Mm,
most things. But there's, I guess, according to Harold Ramis in one of the commentaries, um, I guess they shot some footage of an actress under the thing up on top of the car, and the hand falls out and just kind of moves. So she's not really dead. She was just like mostly out of it or something. They thought she was dead. It was supposed to be like another little funny thing, but
yeah,
that entire movie is a hat on a hat.
right.
So it's like you can't stack the jokes so much and then expect and then audiences are just going to be like whatever.
So what you're
So
saying is we need like a director's cut of it with the
no, we don't.
additional little pieces.
No, Harold Ramis is long dead, and that's fine. I'm at at that movie as it exists is perfectly fine. You don't have to tinker with it. You don't have to change it. You don't have to go in and remove the Lindsey Buckingham songs and replace them with different songs.
Right.
You don't have to do anything. You just leave it. It is absolutely. I'm just gonna say it is on par with Ghostbusters. It is just a perfect movie. There's nothing to screw with.
Cool.
The only
In
thing that's not perfect about it, and which is something that Harold Ramis repeatedly apologized for, is the East St. Louis scene, which, as somebody that lives in that area, they didn't go to East St. Louis. They just
right,
went down by the arch. That's
right,
literally the exit down by the arch. Which even in those days just dumps you out by, again, the arch and some other stuff. It wasn't a great part of St. Louis at the time, but it didn't require all of that stereotype nonsense.
right.
That's probably the thing that sullies the movie more than anything else. The other part of it is in the book that the movie is based
Right.
on, they substitute, don't worry, it was way worse. It used to be Native Americans because they're out in the desert somewhere
Right.
out west on the reservation, and the Native Americans were taking advantage of them. So it's kind of like the thing where you see in the desert where it's like the sheriff and the guy put like the 4 bald tires on the car and all that.
Right.
That was Native Americans. And they thought enough in the early 80s, like, maybe we can't crap on these guys. However, you know who
Well,
hasn't taken it on the chin in 5 minutes? African Americans.
yeah,
Yeah, Mike is right. The St. Louis Hood thing was creative license, and it was just because that they absolutely knew that they could not have what was originally in the story, the
right.
book rather, but like the article in Lampoon magazine.
So on not on this channel obviously, but on another channel that I work with, it's car
Mhm.
related.
Yes.
We actually are interviewing. I don't know if it's actually happened yet or if it's coming up. They're interviewing a couple that all they do is make replica movie cars,
Oh, really?
and they
Did
just
they
finished
a
the
family
truckster.
truckster?
Yeah, they
Oh,
just
wow.
finished it, and it's actually like very very much.
Is it in metallic P?
Oh yes, yeah,
I
it's spot
ordered the
on.
blue Super Sport.
And like they have everything down to all the luggage on the top matches. They
Oh, yeah,
went so
that's
far
nice.
as to
Yeah.
find examples of the
Mhm.
luggage. They've
That's
got
really good.
the inside. They have like the sweater that the
Mhm.
daughter was wearing
Yeah.
on the
Mhm.
seat. Like
Yeah.
they were very very anal about making it 100% accurate to the movie, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They previously
Mhm.
they'd finished the DeLorean, which they
Oh,
had
that's
done for
nice.
Back to the Future.
I think that a lot of people do a lot of
Yeah,
there's a big community for that. There's not a
yeah.
big family truckster
There's not.
community,
Well,
but
and that's the funny thing, like, they were talking about having to find parts, so
yeah.
what saved them for that was they 3D printed a lot of it. So, like, the family truckster emblem, the grill, the little vents on the side,
Yeah.
but what they had to do, they had to find 2 Ford, Squires,
Mhm.
country Squires,
Yeah, country
and
squire.
they put them together like
Yeah.
the actual movie car was built.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And
pretty cool.
that was something else that kind of was, because I guess, like, the lights, they basically doubled up the
Yeah, they
lights and
just doubled
stuff
up
to
the
make it look like way over the top,
yeah,
kinda
100%.
silly stuff, but I do, yeah, Vacation, there was, like, a soft remake of it with Ed Helms and Christina Applegate, I think,
Yes.
and they might have had some cameos because I think Beverly D'Angelo was in it or something like that, but, I don't know. That movie is just lightning in a bottle. I don't know
Hmm.
how you would redo it.
I
It's
don't know
got
how they would allow it to be redone. I'm guessing
what do you mean? You just do it, and people show up or they don't. I
I
mean,
suppose.
outside of the East St. Louis scene, I don't really know. Yes, there are some jokes in it. Like there's the
Yeah,
joke about like daddy says I'm the best kisser
yeah,
and things. I got a stack of nudie bags this tall. I mean,
yeah,
I don't necessarily know that you couldn't show some of those jokes, but you could
right.
absolutely like
Infer them or change them slightly.
infer all of
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah.
So,
But again, I just like from a licensing perspective, the original is
oh,
such a
yeah.
quintessential movie.
Yeah.
Who would allow it to be remade? Like it
Oh,
seems
anybody that wants
with money, I
money.
suppose. Yeah,
Anybody, like Chevy Chase would be like, "Yes, I would love to come and do this. I would
right,
love to come and do this movie. Just back up a dump truck of money to my house,
right.
and I will show up
Well, I think
and"
we had this conversation the other night about what's his name, Indiana Jones,
Mhm.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
He was being
Harrison
interviewed.
Ford.
He was
Yeah.
being interviewed, and they were like, how do you choose
Mhm,
roles now, and like why would you choose to be the Red Hulk, and
mhm.
how do you come to terms with the campiness of that versus a serious movie? And he was like, the money,
Yeah,
very
it's
bluntly, the
they
money.
they they come to my house with a dump truck full of cash,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Sounds great, let's do it."
Rudy's asking what movie we're talking about. We started talking about what was the first movie? It wasn't National Lampoon's
Uh,
Vacation.
I
Oh, Weekend at Bernie's.
yes, Weekend at
We start
Bernie's.
we started talking
Yes.
about Weekend at Bernie's because
Mhm.
Ron is so tired. I feel like he could cosplay
Yes.
as Bernie,
Mhm. Yeah,
and
it could. I
it
can't remember that actor's name, but good for him. It's
yeah,
it's you just I think, I can't remember. I know that for SAG stuff, because he's alive at the beginning of the first movie
Yes.
and then is dead, but he's dead through the entirety of the second movie. I'm not sure how that works out with Screen Actors Guild, because it's like you've got extras in that movie that have more. I mean, he's a supporting actor in it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's named after him, but it's not like it's really. I mean, you just get any corpse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Garth
Garth
is,
being you.
yeah, Michael Caine, who I love. My Cocaine
Yeah.
said famously that Jaws 2, or was it 3? I'm thinking it's Jaws 3, because
Yeah.
or maybe even Jaws 4. Lord,
Which is the one where they electrocute the shark? That's 3, right?
that's I think that's part 2. I thought that
Is it
was,
part 2? Okay.
or maybe it's part 3. I just remember part 3 is in 3D,
Right.
and that's it. I do like Uncle Buck. I'm a
Yeah.
big John Candy fan. I think John Candy
I
was
cannot
a
wait
real
for the
loss.
I cannot wait for the documentary to come out.
Yeah.
I have it scheduled to
Mhm.
buy it the day that
Yeah.
it comes out on
I saw
Amazon.
something as two big guys. I saw a thing where I guess somebody, they were going to edit this, like an interview or somebody, giving John Candy a hard time about his weight,
Yeah.
and contributed to him not
Yeah.
being here. But at the same time, it was kind of like mean spirited, I guess,
Yeah.
this thing. And I just read today that they were like, I was going to take it out, but you know what? I'm leaving it in.
Yeah. Well, then they actually interviewed. Ryan Reynolds reached out to the interviewer who was
Hmm.
at the center of this interview, and they agreed to be part of the documentary. And actually, like
They,
apparently, I haven't seen it, but
mhm.
apparently they, you know, accept their
They backed a dump truck of money up to their house and they said, you know what? I'm 85 years old. People can hate me
all
for the
they want.
6 months I'm still going to be here. I'm going to Disneyland.
Lady, you're putting my kids through college.
Yeah. Lady, this guy is putting my kids through college.
Do you follow my husband around?
Sure do. Yeah.
The hot dog vendor from The Simpsons, if anybody's wondering.
Yes.
It's a Simpsons reference.
Yes. Yep.
One of the other cars that they've done, or they've talked about doing, I can't remember, was the cop car from the Blues Brothers, the
Oh,
former
yeah.
cop car.
Yeah. You just
That's a movie
Dodge.
car that often doesn't get a lot of love.
I agree. Dodge
Yeah,
Monaco,
yeah,
with the police package and stuff
yeah.
on it. I've seen one or two, because again, I'm kind of Chicago adjacent. I'm 5
Mm,
miles away. Actually, I used to live in Southern Illinois. So anybody that's like, you're from Illinois, that's like, oh, what's Chicago like? I
yeah,
don't know. It's on the other end of the state. But the but no, there are more than a few, by a bunch of those up in the Chicago area.
yeah. I
Blues
mean,
mobiles.
those cars a car perspective were so terrible that they just
Mhm.
disappeared. Like they were on the
Well,
road for 10
mhm,
years maybe, and they
mhm.
just fell apart.
Well, I mean, you got to keep in mind that it's it's a Dodge product.
Yeah,
And,
it's a Chrysler Dodge product, and
yeah,
it's
and
it's the smog era when everything was anemic and terrible.
well, no, it's got a regular engine. It ran on regular gas. That's kind of the whole thing of it, is
Yes,
that it
but
was
it's
kind of from before catalytic converters and all. That's even talked about in the movie. I've seen this movie 4 million times. Speaking of another lightning in a bottle movie, that as a
mhm,
kid I watched it and didn't really appreciate. Um, if John Candy was skinny, he'd still be funny. Yeah, he's just a funny guy.
yeah,
But he wouldn't have got the same rules, because he's not
no,
leading man funny or leading
right,
man attractive. So I
right,
don't think he would have had the same
yeah,
career that he had. But because they kind of make again, I've seen that movie 4 million times. You see it as a kid and you just kind of watch it and you're like, I don't really understand this thing. And then you watch it as an adult and you're like, everybody in this movie is famous. Like,
right,
everybody is a callback. They got Carrie Fisher, because I guess the night, like, she was the host of SNL the night that they premiered the Blues Brothers. That might be
yeah.
incorrect, but I think that's the
I
case.
believe that
Probably
is
wrong.
part of the lore. Yeah,
But and then it's, and all the people in the band and stuff that they kind of had as like their backing band, and all that, and Cab Calloway, just people that they liked and wanted to have in the movie. So it's I like that. It seems like a bunch of friends got together and made a movie.
yeah. And it's funny. You talk about things you don't appreciate as a kid, and you go back and watch them. I find a
Mhm.
lot of '80s movies because again, I was born in '86, so it would have been
Yeah.
4 by the
So
time
you
the
were like
'80s were
a
over.
zygote
Yeah,
for most of the 80s. Yeah,
Correct. I
yeah.
was.
You
Um,
you were your father's ambition for
correct. I was a sparkle
much
in
of
my
this.
father's eye.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember watching, in the 90s because a lot of this stuff was late night rerun or Saturday or Sunday afternoon. What are we going to put on the TV for the kids to
Yes.
watch? Or
Right.
but
So
I remember,
Blues Brothers, absolutely.
yeah,
Yes. I mean, it would have to be on cable because it
for
would
sure.
be, like you're gonna look
But there were a
pretty
couple of movies, like
funny.
I remember there was a couple of films I watched, and I watched them as a kid on cable.
Mhm.
And then we're like, oh, these are fantastic. I really enjoy them. But then I actually watched the theatrical release or get them
Mhm.
on DVD, and I'm like, oh my God, they cut out half the movie
Yeah.
because of what it's censorship or, you can't say a bad word, you can't
Yeah.
show
Mhm.
nudity, right?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
what was it? I'm trying to remember the movie now. I think it might have been Die Hard.
Yeah.
Die Hard has a
Mhm.
censored version where he
Yes.
doesn't curse, and I
Yeah.
can't remember what he says, but it's the funniest
Mhm.
replacement for the F word.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of those movies like that especially 80s movies had a lot of F-bombs that when they made it to cable that they just kind of blubbed
Yeah,
over it in a weird
yeah, like
way.
didn't even try. It was like
Yeah.
not even the same voice or
I
even
just
similar voice.
Yeah, I think one of the very best ones, very best, maybe least objectionable one I would say is Stand By Me. If you've ever seen, it's based on the Stephen King short
Yep.
story, The Body, and there's a scene in it where they're trying to tell each other stories, and so Will Wheaton's character Jordy or Gordy or whatever his name is like I
Shut up,
think that's
Wesley.
his name, yes, but is like telling the story about like this guy and he's a big dude and he goes to the pie eating contest and it's getting revenge. It's like a revenge story, but
Yep.
it's everybody calls him lard ass in this thing and when you watch it on cable in the 80s, everybody called him Lard. It was yeah, so it was like and there's a scene where they chant his name and it is just I would have hate to have been the editor on this because it's said like 150 times in a
Right.
row. So it's like they're having to like mute, 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 mute. It's weird. I'm sure there's a clip of it on YouTube where you can go out there and just see that they did that. But no,
Yeah, that's a great example.
David Starbucks, right, too. The, Reanimator, like any of those movies that they would show on USA Up All Night, if or on, gosh, what, Monster Vision on TNT,
TNT, yeah, yeah.
like the Joe Bob Briggs drive-in stuff,
Yeah.
where it was all edited for cable, you know?
The other one was the like Evil Deads. Caught
Mhm.
those. They were late nights, so they got a little bit away. They were able to get away
Yeah.
with a bit
Past
more.
Watershed, you could get away with a tiny bit
Yeah,
more,
but it
yeah.
was still highly edited. What's really funny
Yes.
because I'm a huge Bruce Campbell fan, and
Yeah.
I have almost every copy possible of the Evil Dead series. So
Yeah, they
all
only
the
released 4
bootleg.
trillion of them. Yeah,
Exactly. It's like
right.
every time. Was it? Is it Media Bay or I'm trying to remember the parent company? Something
It's
Bay.
it's
And they got a
Anchor
sailboat,
Bay
Anchor Bay.
Entertainment. Yeah,
Every time they sold, they got sold or they changed
mhm,
ownership. It's like,
yeah,
well, we got to send out another new copy of Evil Dead.
yeah. It's funny though because, you gotta keep in mind though that that movie, especially, Army of Darkness,
Mm,
was, like, co-owned by Dino De Laurentiis,
mm,
so, you had Italian distribution on this as well,
yep,
so there is an Italian cut of the movie that was kind of like a lot of people were like the European cut, where the ending is different,
yep,
and so and there's a couple, like there's a little more violence is stuck back in, especially with, like, the witch fight and
yes.
stuff, so
And like
it's
I remember the one that I watched on television had the ending where they wake up like 1,000 years later and like New York, they're in London for some reason,
well, it's
and like
because they were in England, that's where he
right,
got
but
teleported,
it
yeah.
doesn't make any
It's
sense.
like, "I slept too long because he
Yeah,
took too
yes,
many
that's
drops
right.
of the stuff.
Yeah,
Spoilers for this movie that came
sure.
out, like, in 1992 or something like that, but still.
But, I gotta say that's actually one of my favorite, and then the follow-ups, like, I don't know if you watched Ash versus the Evil Dead.
I watched, like, the first episode
Thoroughly
or
enjoyed it.
2.
I
Yeah,
I thought it was quite well done, very campy, and I loved it.
yeah,
And then Bruce kind of admitted that he was done with the character, but
yeah.
apparently again, they backed up to his door
back a
with a
dump
big
truck of money up. Yes.
because apparently there's another Evil Dead coming out. So
why not? Just keep making stuff.
just keep making
If
them.
people keep showing up.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I don't know why all these like Gen X stuff, all this stuff from when I was a kid, everybody has got high morals all of a sudden. I remember growing up watching television at my grandparents' house, and there'd be like some fossil that they would dig up and have him on television, and everybody like was just like oohing and on that they were the special guest that week on Matlock, or
Right.
or they were like, oh, they're back. And in those days, they wouldn't give you a movie, they wouldn't give you a series, but they would absolutely do like a special
Right.
where it would be like Bob Hope and the guy that beat his kids,
Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby.
Yeah. You got to use a Florida orange in a sock. It's
Yeah.
best way. Don't leave a bruise, but it
doesn't leave a bruise. But it's
but
like
it gets the point across.
Yeah, but it's like they'd throw them a special or something
Right.
like that,
Yeah.
Every so often. So, but
you
nobody had any shame about that.
No,
They
of
just
course
kept
not.
doing it, and it
They
was
wanted money.
like here's Jerry Lewis. God, why? But here's Jerry Lewis, just rolling him out. Oh wait, he's doing an Asian stereotype in 1994. Come on, man, you can't do that. Oh yeah. I am a big fan of the Paul Lynde Halloween special because I cannot imagine the amount of cocaine that went into the decision-making process on this. Because it's like we've got Paul Lynde, and Paul Lynde did it like a ton of like specials kind of in the late 70s, early 80s. That's fine. I love Paul Lynde. Paul Lynde is absolutely hilarious. Really funny guy. He's got a great story. He was like a fat kid, kind of lost a bunch of weight, but like never lost that mindset in his entire life. And it absolutely informed who he was as a comedian, as an adult and stuff, as a queer man. It was, he's just got a wonderful story, but it's got like, what's popular at the time? Okay, Kiss. People love Kiss. We'll have Kiss on as the musical guest in my special. We'll have HR Puffin stuff. So we're gonna have HR Puffin stuff in here because that was the popular kids thing. We got to make sure that we have like it was Margaret Hamlin, like the Wicked Witch of the West, because that was kind of about the time that like they were dusting off all the nostalgia for the Wizard of Oz. And then like the girl that played like Pinky Tuscadero on
Grease.
Happy Days,
sorry.
Yeah, because don't forget Happy Days is on the tail end of all that 50s nostalgia. I had to put up with all of that as a kid. That was offered to me as entertainment. I don't know who any of these fossils are, but so now if you want to make a Ash versus the nursing home movie, you should absolutely
Bubba Hotep.
I was gonna say you already did, but yeah.
But you talk about like people having high moral standards. Oh, you can't remake that. That was perfect. Everything's a remake. If you go back to the 80s when these slasher movies were coming out, they were just remakes of exploitation films from the 70s and 60s and 50s.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of that stuff only existed because you couldn't get away with it a generation before. Like I'm just saying, like the crazy meetings that you had to have in Hollywood to get 3 and a meat hook made or something like that. It had to be, it was absolutely Hollywood money that made those things, but it was like it was like funneled through, sort of like how Disney used to be in the 80s and 90s, where there's something where it's like, this doesn't really fit with the Disney brand, so we're going to stick it on Touchstone Entertainment.
Right.
So it would be like they love all that Nightmare Before Christmas movie money now. But back then they were like, I don't know.
This Tim Burton guy is a little weird.
Yeah, we can't have this sullying.
I don't know.
I mean, what were the other movies coming out? I don't know. We can't have it messing with our Rescuers Down Under box office numbers.
Meanwhile, a couple of years prior, you had the Watershed. Is it Watershed Down?
Watership Down.
Watership Down, where the rabbits are just killing each other.
Yeah,
that terrified me as a child.
Well, yeah, and that was the other thing. It was like a pushback, and Tim Burton's part of that too, because he was a Disney animator. He worked on like Fox and the Hound and other movies, and kind of he was like he hated his life at Disney because he was like, I'm drawing all of these foxes with like little dead eyes because I'm just like, I hate this. And so because he wanted to be a big weirdo.
Yeah,
And
he did.
so him and Oingo Boingo got together, and by
Yeah.
God, they just made a franchise of all kinds of
Weird stuff.
things that they slapped their names on and called
Yeah.
Tim Burton's
Well,
whatever the hell it
Tim
is.
Burton is Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Tim Burton the Mud Flap.
Yeah. It's just whatever. But
But yeah, actually, on a Tim Burton note, have you ever seen his house when he was married to Heather or Helen Bonham Carter? They lived
no.
in two separate houses,
Yeah.
and they had
Good
a
for them.
catwalk between them.
Oh,
And
sure.
her house was like very Victorian and
Mhm.
very like proper British, and his was like
Mhm.
modern with cold steel and glass.
Yeah, it looked like when the Dietzes took over the Maitland's house.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I
100%.
can only assume because there's always
Guaranteed that statue made it somewhere into his house. Guaranteed that
yeah,
was in a third level bathroom somewhere. It was just that
yeah.
weird like
It's actually
fence.
the little thing, the handy thing. It's
Yeah,
probably the toilet.
right. Yeah,
It's probably yeah. It's just there to accept your excretions. I you know what? I wouldn't doubt it because in every lie there's like this little kernel of truth. And so in
right.
every one of those movies, it's like you can
Yeah,
see Tim Burton just being an absolute weirdo.
yeah.
And it's great. It's
In
great.
a great way, in a good way. I like
Yeah.
Tim Burton.
Mhm.
This is the time of year we start getting into the spooky season as this month
Yes.
progresses,
Mhm.
and so myself and Angela will start watching, spooky movies.
Yeah.
Usually, there's at least a handful or a half dozen of Tim Burton's films mixed
Yeah.
in there. I actually just recently finished rewatching Batman.
Oh yeah.
I tried to give it I tried because I love the
89
first one.
Batman 89.
89 and
Yeah.
90, the
Yeah.
second one. And then I said, you know what? I haven't watched the
Mhm.
third one or the
Yeah.
fourth one in a very
No.
long time. I was like,
It's fine.
let's see how bad man.
Yeah. Not great.
It's not
It's
great.
none of them are great.
No.
And because those first actually, it's great because I like the people that Tim Burton hires and sticks in his movies.
Yeah.
I think that he's got like a stable of people that he gets. They're really great and they absolutely like fill out those roles. That Val Kilmer one, the one that Joe Silver did, they're
Yeah.
just terrible and
But like I'm just watching like
it's fine.
the pacing is weird.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
writing of like the characters is weird. Like
Yeah.
Dr. or Mr. Freeze, Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger. I'm like that you had so much potential. I'm watching it going, this is
Well,
just utter horse crap.
that's that's the Joel Silver thing, but he's
Yeah.
leaning into the Silver Age, like
Right.
throwing fruit pies at the because that was what he saw it as.
Yeah.
And I think even in that he was already trying to do the giant metal spider that he
Yes.
finally got years later in
Wild Wild West.
Wild Wiggy Wiggy Wild Wild
Wild
West.
West. Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. Hope
Yes.
I know all the words. I'm not going to sing it.
It's fine. I love Kevin Kline in that movie. It's really
Yeah.
great. I don't
It's
know
good.
that Will Smith is fine. He plays the same character in every movie,
Yeah,
or at least in that era he did.
he does.
So because
the
it's
same
like
person.
the Men in Black, the movie,
Yeah.
the whatever,
Uh,
the
uh,
Artemis
Independence
Flight
Day.
Frog. Yes,
then,
he's the
same
same,
character.
and that's why they hired him because
Yeah.
we like this character. You just do
Well,
it again.
what they did was they backed up to his house with a gigantic
A dump truck
full of money.
Yeah, and we're like, gosh, we need you. We need you to be Neo in this movie. And he's like,
Yeah.
I just don't understand the script. And so he passes.
And then
And
Keanu
then-
Reeves is
and
like, I will take
Bill
it.
S. Preston, Esquire,
Hmm.
or Ted Theodore Logan. That's his. He
Yeah.
makes it. That's his.
Well, what happened is he came out of
finally
the
made
phone
it.
booth having teleported to 1998 and met the Wachowskis and was like, they were like, you are perfect for this film.
Yeah. All right. We've been talking about movies for nearly 30 minutes.
I know.
Why don't you give me a spooky movie recommendation for spooky season? I'll give one. Let's talk about Computer John.
That sounds good. Spooky movie. Carnival of Souls. I had to write a paper
God.
on it.
That's so terrible. No,
It is, but it's so good.
I no.
Yes,
Mm-mm.
it's.
No,
I had to write a paper on it in university. It was great.
it's really bad.
It is horrible.
It's a really terrible movie.
I will also say a lot of people haven't seen it. They know, and again, I think it's because it's referenced so often in pop culture. You don't normally watch it. Any of the first 3 Night of the Living Deads, are always fantastic movies. Specifically, Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead, sorry, is one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Yes.
In the
That
mall.
is the strongest of all of them.
Yeah. And fun little side note, because I'm going to wrap it into cars again. That's actually one of the first movies to show a brand new Volkswagen Scirocco. And that's actually what they drive around the mall killing all the zombies with.
Yeah.
And
They need
it's
something
kind of
small
cool.
that was already in the mall.
Yeah, exactly.
There it
And
was.
there it was.
I am going to say, based on your terrible recommendation,
You gotta get a terrible. Give us a terrible recommendation and then make a good one.
Terrible recommendation to go with you, which would be Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. If you've never seen it, it's a Halloween movie in name only. It's got nothing to do with Michael Myers. It's just like a weird movie that somehow got made.
I often wonder, did they have a script and then they couldn't make, what if for whatever reason they couldn't get someone to write it? So they're like, we have this thing in turnaround. Can we just slap the Halloween name on this?
Yeah, because they couldn't get it made if it didn't have some sort of like automatic audience.
Yeah.
And so that would be it. But
funnily enough, didn't kill the franchise, which I thought was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I guess. So I will say the good horror movie that you should watch if you've never seen it. I think it's 1990s The Fog. John Carpenter's The Fog. That is a really great movie. I am a huge Adrienne Barbeau fan.
Actually, 1980.
1980. I couldn't remember if it's 80 or 81.
But it's one of Jamie Lee Curtis's first movies.
Yes, but I will tell you that it is absolutely a 70s movie.
100%.
No year zero.
Yeah.
So 1980 is the last year of the 1970s, and I will fight people about this. But it is great. Yes, exactly. It's it's really great, and it's just like it's not a big special effects movie or anything like that. It's all about suspense and just sort of like what the heck's going on, and yeah, it's really good.
I actually watched that recently, maybe within the last 6 months. And what struck me is the practical effects and the creature horror, like the body horror, is really well done. It's not terrible, because sometimes you watch it and you go, oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah.
But no, it was actually quite good.
Yeah. If I could make one other recommendation, it would be Frank Darabont's, the same guy that directed Shawshank Redemption, directed The Mist, which is based off of a Stephen King short story. That is, you should watch the director's cut, basically because it's presented in black and white, or not black and white, but kind of a sepia like kind of tone movie. And because the special effects in it, the special effects budget wasn't huge, and it's got a lot of CG. It's got a lot of like early 2000s CG.
Yeah.
So it is. It's not great, but in the black and white, it's really great. So you should watch the black and white version of Frank Darabont's The Mist.
Yeah,
that's
it's actually without ruining the movie, I'll tell you the ending is it's polarizing. Let's put it that way. You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah, and the book is very much the book ends in a different way. It's a downer ending movie, but it's worth watching to say that you watched it. The book is the short story, I think, is in Changing Seasons or something. It's in one of those anthology books that King did. So
one of the really cool things that I like about that particular movie, though, is the actor who plays the grandfather in it, is Dale from The Walking Dead.
Yeah. And I was going to say, because Frank Darabont also directed the early episodes of The Walking Dead. Yeah. So
he's in everything. And apparently they are very good friends, and he's in everything that he does.
Yeah. That's what I need. I need somebody that is like absolutely. I want to be, if you're a director and you're watching this right now, I want to be your Dick Miller. I want to be the guy that you just bring in for every movie.
Part of your clause. So he's got to be in the movie.
So it's like, what's the guy's name that did like Explorers and Gremlins and Inner Space and Richard Donner? No, not Richard Donner. Oh my God.
Richard Donner. No,
sorry, that's terrible. But anyway,
Joe Dante.
Joe Dante always brings in Dick Miller for
Yes.
like a cameo in all of his movies. So
Or Adam Sandler and what's his name?
Oh God, it's
You can do it.
yeah. I was gonna say it's
The
because
right wing guy who's crazy now.
yeah,
Him.
he ain't working doing anything else. Rob Schneider.
Rob
So,
Schneider. That's it. Yeah.
but
Cool.
all right, it's been
Anyway.
35 minutes and we've been talking about movies and stuff. Let's talk about computers. Ryan, you recently acquired some new amazing things. There was some kind of computer show that happened in St. Louis Chicago last weekend.
Same
Lord
thing.
knows about that.
Yeah.
But you recently picked up some cool things. I have some cool things that I picked up that are unrelated. Yes, let's do a quick show and tell, and then let's talk about an interesting issue that is affecting computing today. But first,
you go first, sir. The floor is yours.
All right. I was gonna say, actually, I picked up this nice little thing. It's one of them LED displays. It's an LED display. I found this on eBay, and I was working on a project or talking to Kate, the Macintosh librarian, about a project, and she oftentimes will use a lot of iPad displays for different things and all of that. But I am like, that is really expensive because the iPad display is they're super high resolution. They're nice. Even like the ones for like the iPad 2, things like that. You pick those up and they are $60 or $70. Watch out for the lead poisoning. Yes, thank you, Dave. But you pick them up, they're $60, $70 for the display, and then you need a controller for them. The controller is probably like an additional $30, $40. By the time you're done, you're $100 into a frameless LCD display. And so what I did is I did a little bit of research and I found this one here. They are made by a bunch of different companies, but they are very much the same little product. This is a Watchity. No, it says WSTIRHY. It's just like we put letters, a Chinese company, we put letters into a name generator, and this is what it came up with. But
they let a cat walk across the keyboard.
Yeah, these are like $53 on eBay, or I'm sorry, not eBay, on the Amazons. Includes a nice little base and everything like that. So, but this is just like a 10-inch LCD. But what's kind of nice about it is it actually has just a mess of different inputs on the bottom of it. It's got regular, RCA inputs. It's got like an 1/8 inch input, stereo mini jack input and output. It's got coax. It has HDMI, and it has.
Is that coax or a BNC?
It's a BNC connection, but it's for coax.
Neat.
So yeah. But anyway, these little displays are like $50. They've got all the stuff. You can VESA mount them if that's your thing. But I kind of bought it, and I was like, I hope this works out. And I told Joe about it, and our friend Joe is a smart guy. Oftentimes, though, he's got 20 irons. Yeah, no S-video, but I will say that you can get those little converters that will, these days, it'll be like S-video to HDMI or whatever. I'll put a link. Give me a minute. I'll do it when Ryan's talking. But yeah, it's a neat little display, and it's very, very light. It also has a USB input. I'm not 100% sure what that's for. I think they said it could do photo frame stuff, but basically, and it weighs nothing. So if you were going to do a little project where you needed a little LCD display for like $50 or whatever it is, they have cheaper ones, but I've not tested that. Now, what's great about this too is it maybe be tough to notice. Oh, sponsored by Google. This is a 4x3 display.
Yes.
So this supports 640 by 480, 800 by 600, 1024 by 768. Most of these little displays are 16 by 9. So you're squishing and moving stuff. Yeah, what you got, Ryan?
Question. Does it work with the Pico Micromac?
By gosh, it does. And that's what was on display this weekend in Chicago. Past weekend in Chicago. So
awesome.
So Joe just bought one. And I was like, "Oh, Joe, I've not actually tested it." And he goes, "Well, now you tell me." but he got it, and it plugs in. It looks really, really good. The scaling is really nice, especially on 640 by 480. Other resolutions again are supported, but those are all those all integer scale correctly.
Right.
So, but no, this is, yeah, and I've seen that yo-yo one.
I've seen that brand too before. Yeah.
That, but I'm just saying that for $50, if you just need a 4x3 display for testing things, or if you have like an old machine that specifically uses 4x3 resolutions and there's no way to grow it to something else, this is pretty good for a brand new display. I understand you can go to the e-cycler, you can pick up those old Dell monitors that weigh 400 million pounds, that are basically televisions, but also they sold them to customers as like a monitor or something like that. But no, this is really good for the price.
I could see it being beneficial too, like you were saying, if you're going to a trade show, you could have 2 or 3 of them and it wouldn't take up a whole lot of space.
Yes, that's
right?
the other big thing. So,
like, say you were going to, I don't know, a trade show in Chicago and you had some sort of technology thing that you wanted to show off.
Yes, without having to have a huge display or bring a bunch of other stuff, it would be probably pretty nice. So, yeah,
awesome.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You do one, and then I've got a couple of things that I go gadget arms. I can't get to them. So.
All right. Well, I actually we have a local couple of local guys reached out to us, older gentlemen who are sort of in the twilight of their technology careers, and they want to offload some stuff. So they reached out to us because we run the local retro computer group, and one is a former CBC, so Canadian Broadcasting Corporation chief engineer, and the other fellow was the similar chief engineer, but at our local community TV channel called NTV, or Newfoundland Television. So yeah, we went to the Newfoundland Television guy's house. He previously had provided us with a pile of really cool Apple products. And this time around, he didn't have as much cleared out. His house is amazing. It's just packed full of stuff. And everywhere you look, it's like you feel like you're Doug the dog from Up. Just like squirrel, look what's over there. So this time around, he allowed us. I got it's there on the floor. There's another Mirador. They keep following me home. Every time I go somewhere, a Mirador comes home with me. I don't understand why, and why it's only always a Mirador is always the weird part. I'm guessing they were a very popular Macintosh for that particular time period of about 20 years ago or 25 years ago. So yeah, I got it on the Mirador. I already have a new owner for that. Mark in our local group is going to take it. So he'll have 2 Miradors because I don't need 4. So I'm all about, moving stuff to people that will appreciate it.
Yeah.
I was very excited. He also provided a pile of telephones. So there's another guy in our group who's a big telephony guy.
Yeah.
So I am going to drop off a large quantity of business grade telephones, which he's very excited about.
Yeah. Very cool.
But what I was excited about was some of the software and the books that I got. Let me just go grab one of the books here real quick.
Okay.
It's a fantastic read. I got to say, I'm very excited about reading it. It's by a fellow by the name of Robert Atkins, MD. Some sort of newfangled diet.
Yeah, this Atkins diet.
Yeah, this revolutionary Atkins diet.
Atkins.
Atkins. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure how it works. And it's a Revolution diet.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you can't fit it all in one line.
You can't. So, yeah.
I mean, the book.
Well, if the
50 more pages.
If the typeface had done the Atkins diet, it'd be slimmer. It'd be able to fit on.
Oh, that's what you get.
But I didn't realize the Atkins diet was old as it is. This is a first copy, and it was printed in 1972.
Wow.
Yeah,
very nice.
So there you go. For anybody who doesn't know, in the mid to late 90s, the Atkins diet became very popular. It's a low carb, high protein diet, and it works for a lot of people. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny that was in the box.
Yeah, but I'm sure you've been to the store these days and you'll see products that have Atkins or whatever written on it.
Yeah, branding on it.
Yeah.
One of the most amazing things, and I was very excited when I saw this because I said to myself, I said, Ryan, this is very important, and I got to make sure I don't let Jen touch it because we all know what's going to happen if Jen touches this. I found the internet in a box.
Yeah, the whole internet, the whole of the internet. Wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's all here.
Yeah. That's.
But I remember. Do you remember?
Let Jason Scott know that you've got a backup.
Right. Do you guys? I mean, everybody probably remembers back in the day. There were going to a store, and there will always be like these like SICK. They call them self-install kits, or for different internet providers. This one is, I don't know. It's it doesn't even say who owns it.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's, and you got to keep in mind that it was like the golden era for like selling books to fogies.
Yeah.
Where it would just be like, oh yeah, this is how you internet, and
this is how you internet,
and it would have like a floppy disk with an installer for like some old version of Netscape Navigator and like links in a text file or something. $19 at Walden Books.
Yeah, I mean, you probably sold or saw a bunch get sold at what's it called?
Wards? No, actually, that was kind of it's kind of pre. People were not. There was not like an internet thing at that time. People were, oh yeah, get on a BBS. What's a BBS? Oh, it's like a place where people can trade files and play doors games and all that. Yeah, books a million.
Borders apparently.
Yeah. But no, I remember because there were no, in my neck of the woods, there weren't any ISP.
So when you were selling the Macintoshes, was there like a Quantum Link or any type of service that was bundled with them at all?
No. Well, yeah, it's Apple Link because Apple had their own thing.
Quantum Link.
And of course, like IBM we sold IBM machines, so compact machines, and they would all include like
AOL or
not even AOL. It was probably, I think it was like CompuServe or Prodigy.
Sure, yeah.
Like that. So
one of the two big ones from back in the day.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was easy because those were curated experiences. So
I've got all the NetWare update discs. So if anybody's looking to update their NetWare from 3 to 3.11, I've got the book and I've got the discs. So
yes.
I'll make sure to archive those because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there looking for them.
There probably are. You know who actually absolutely loves that stuff is Retrotech Chris. Like he.
Oh yes, yeah, he does
all
love
that. Yeah, all that novels,
all that like early corporate enterprise IT stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we get into some games. Jesse, network, you say?
Mm-hmm.
I got some Monopoly.
Nice.
Every day,
you're shuffling.
Well, I think he becomes more and more real to life.
Yes.
What's his name? Pennyworth? Penny.
Mr. I do think that we need to get back to where it's like we used to. It's everybody now says billionaire class thing. We used to say robber baron. It's fine. It's more accurate.
I would like just where you get back to the place where we used to break up monopolies.
Yeah.
Like remember those days when it was no, that company's too big. We should probably make it two separate companies so that it benefits more.
Yes. Why do you own everything? What's the point of that?
I mean, I'm sure there is a point.
Yes.
Power.
Probably. Maybe.
But then, I know you're excited about these. I have a couple of copies of the Tandy versions of Leisure Suit Larry.
Yes, I'm very excited for both of those. You'll have to let me know what I can do to secure those if you are getting rid of them.
Well, I will definitely send them down to you because I'm a fan of the knockoff Leisure Suit Larry, which we talked about, which is called Less Manly in Search of the King.
Yes.
He is a Vegas Elvis impersonator that is on a mission to find love. So.
Yeah. Everybody was just throwing everything at the wall and see what would stick.
Yeah, we were talking about this. So like it was really interesting. I didn't realize like Carmen Sandiego, you were saying, was actually a another product that just took too long to develop, so they just brought people
Well,
in this. We're gonna make our own thing.
there is a bit of controversy about the Carmen Sandiego stuff, and there's another game that's kind of very similar that came out a little bit later. So, but started development sooner or something. So,
Right.
I am sure that many people disagree about all of that. So, but
For sure,
it's a
for sure.
very interesting story.
Yeah, like we used to Cross Country Canada would always, which was a game. People always said it was kind of like stealing from Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Because it's a very similar type thing, but it's modern. You're driving a transport truck across Canada, so you get to experience all the provinces.
Yeah.
I think then they turned and after they made that, they made an American version called Cross Country USA, but it was a Canadian company.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, anyway, everybody always said, "Oh, that's just a cheap copy of Oregon Trail." One of the weirdest games though that I've never really seen before is called the Filer. It's not very fun.
No.
I played it for a couple of minutes there earlier. It was just building menus and storing stuff. I don't know. I'm not really sure how this is supposed to be fun, but I'll tell you what is fun though is the fact that it comes with all the different versions, and it actually says Apple IIc, Apple IIe, Franklin 500, Franklin 2000, the Laser 128.
We're checking all the boxes.
Yeah, we're gonna check all the boxes, and then of course, very very important talking about shovelware, but from a large corporation.
Yes.
Here's Microsoft's Internet Starter Kit for those who don't know how the internet works.
Mm-hmm. Again, everybody get in on that. Chris, you're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. I wish you would have been there this year. I wish more of our friends would have been able to make it this year for various reasons.
Indeed.
So, but
anyway,
it was a lot of fun. But it would have been more fun with more of our friends there.
Now, if anybody's interested in going to VCF Montreal, I will be there along with Sean from Action Retro is confirmed, as is a couple of other names now.
Yeah, it's I'm sure that will be a good time. January in Montreal.
Yes, January in Montreal. It's going to be something. This doesn't look like it's never been used. It's still sealed.
Yeah, there's a reason.
And it stinks. I'm just really enjoying this guy's name who wrote the book.
Brian Flaffenberger.
Ooh.
He's like
I don't really want to put my name on it.
Yeah. It's like one of those kids that like failed kindergarten because he couldn't spell his own name. Why
are there so many consonants?
Yeah, it's a Zach Galifianakis joke. It's like I failed kindergarten because I couldn't spell my name.
What's the address of the most important person to Microsoft? Look at this.
Mm-hmm. At Microsoft,
they want you to register your product.
I'm sure they do.
I'm sure I'm very important to them.
It's got a real ASL sort of vibe on all that stuff these days, where it's just like back in those, it was just like whatever, just tax documents on my old laptop, just throw it directly in the trash.
Yeah,
nobody cared.
But like you think back to it, it's like this is how they tracked you back in the day. Like this was you fill out those forms, like that's the original tracking cookie right there. It was just more manual and used.
They would just keep sending junk mail to your house, and when it started bouncing, then that's when they know that you finally
installed an ad blocker by moving.
Yes, you no longer were forwarding your address. So I do remember that was a big deal when I moved. My parents were like, "Why are we getting all this crap?" I think I'd gone to Comdex one year, and it's like you buy 1 pound of underwear and you're on their list forever. And so I went to Comdex and I signed up a bunch of where it's like you can come up to the booth and they do a giveaway or they give you a shirt or something like that. And so I'm like, they're like, "Why are you getting all this information about this?" And I'm just like, because I was living at home at the time. And I was like, I don't know. I said, "You can just throw it out." And they were like, but they were really put out that they would just have to throw away a postcard.
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, we just don't know. We don't know." So, but anyway, after I moved out and stuff and lived in another state, I never did a change of address or anything like that because I didn't even think about it.
No.
But so I would continue to get junk mail at their house for a very long time after that. And they would you go up there for a family event or something like that. And they would have like a little bag, like a
of
paper
mail.
bag full of like, you know, your 90-day. I mean, you would not believe all the AOL discs and things like that arrived there. It was
I mean, that's kind of nice because you're like, oh, free floppies,
yeah.
right?
Oh, there was a
So
point though, everything shifted to
CD,
CDs,
and then it was just
and then it's
coasters.
like, what's the point of this? Yeah,
I can't do anything with this.
yeah,
And then the gentleman also gave us a bunch of Apple stuff again.
yeah.
Um,
Nice.
I showed Ron this last night, but it's a Super Mac card.
It's very cool.
Yeah. So I already have a Super Mac card, and I have Super Mac monitors, and I'm not really sure. I assume that this has to only work with the Super Mac monitor. Would that be a correct
Not
assumption?
necessarily. They're just a company that made cards. So
Right.
show the end of the card. Yeah, it's just a standard whatever. So I don't think that card specifically, like,
Okay.
it was like, oh no, it only works with like a 23 kilohertz display or something like
Right.
that.
Right. Right.
That would be kind of, but it really wouldn't matter so much. You plug it into like a monitored LCD and it either works or it doesn't.
Right. So
So
yeah, I've got a couple of these now. They're I noticed that in the Jurassic Park scene, he has a Super Mac monitor.
yeah.
Yeah. So
They were a big company back in the day for making all that stuff for desktop publishing. And that's
yeah.
honestly that's what drove all of it
Right.
was desktop publishers
I
and
can only
people.
imagine trying to do desktop publishing on a 12-inch RGB Apple display was probably pretty terrible.
No, you
No,
wouldn't be doing that on there for sure.
no,
So
right,
I
but
will say the original, because the original machines are black and white, but all your
right,
press stuff was black and white too.
right,
So if you needed color on all of that, that was kind of a big expensive option because
sure.
color printing was like not really a thing
Nobody did that.
outside of a big print shop or something. So
Yeah,
you would get like a 21-inch monochrome display that was like some wacky low refresh rate
right,
in those days, flicker,
yeah,
and hook it up to your Mac SE and do some desktop publishing on that, like a
right,
2-page display or a 1-page display or
right.
whatever. But Apple made, or they didn't make, but they partner with companies to make 2-page displays, 1-page displays. I've got one of each, I think.
Yeah, I've got an Apple Vision monitor right there to my right,
Hmm.
and there's 2 or 3 of them in this garage. Again, the same guy just provided me with a plethora of early '90s Apple monitors and
Yeah, it's way
displays.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm kind of excited. The one thing he did give me yesterday was an 840 AV. I got very excited about it,
Hmm.
and then I realized there was no motherboard.
Yeah. It wouldn't matter because it's dead anyway.
Yeah, and that's what I
I don't
said to him.
think that there's more than just a handful of 840 AVs in the world that actually work
Yeah,
because they're just they're
they're
not
all
great.
dead. But
Yeah.
apparently he thinks he may still have the board somewhere, and I'm like, okay, cool. I would like to see it. I'm sure it is dead. I'm
I
sure
mean, you
there's
could put it in the machine and so it's
yeah,
complete or whatever, but I
yeah,
wouldn't. Yeah. I mean, it's the fastest of those
generation.
040
Yeah,
Macintosh machines.
yeah,
So,
and it's kind of cool, and it's
yeah.
got AV out, which was kind of neat.
Mhm. It's
You
got
know,
some DSPs and stuff built into it for doing video capture and all
yeah.
that. So,
And that wasn't just still frame, right? Like that was actual motion capture.
yeah, like
Okay, cool.
probably
Low.
I would be really surprised if you could get like a sustained 30 frames a second, but it's going to be not great bit rate.
Yeah.
Because again, it's not a video toaster. It was basically just a way for people to kind of play around and
Right.
stuff. So
Or do, I guess, screen captures if you were doing like a manual, like in
yeah,
desktop publishing, and you
absolutely.
had to,
Yes.
take a screenshot of a piece of software or something.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then the only other thing I got, which I thought was pretty cool, um, it was a light week. I had this really cool Zenith case.
Ooh,
Microphones.
just put your microphone anywhere, Ryan. That's
Yeah.
fine.
But it's more specifically what's inside the case that's kind of cool. I think everybody's father at some point in the 80s had one of these.
Hmm.
So I'm just going to move the case out of the way so that it doesn't cause us any grief.
That's good. Yeah, very nice.
So the neat thing about this is it's Super VHS. SVHS. I assume it's just a slightly higher quality VHS.
Yeah,
Would be
Super
my
VHS. Yeah,
would be my
it's
understanding.
more. Yeah, it's more lines of resolution, but
Yeah.
it's like I think 400 or whatever base. It might be like 500, 600 lines or something. So
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it was prosumer sort of thing. It looked ever so slightly better.
Yeah.
For people that want to count threads on all that. So,
but like I guess you would, you know. Wow, I feel like I'm in the 80s.
Yeah. You do look like you're in your 80s. I mean, in the 80s.
in the 80s. If it was in Florida at a retirement complex, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
But
so.
yeah, no, it's kind of neat. So my hope is it's a weird voltage. It's 9.6 volts.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to find a power adapter because the power adapter that did come with it is actually broken. But I'd love to have this set up either in my classroom. I have a lovely news, actually, funnily enough, a Zenith brand television that I picked up last week.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of cool to pair because they're both roughly from the same era.
Mm-hmm.
That was made in 89. I think this was made sometime in 86, 87. Yeah, it has S-Video out, which is kind of cool. I know S-Video was kind of coming to be a thing in the late 80s, early 90s. But the TV also has S-Video in, so it'd be a nice way to get cool. I mean, just leave it set up at our next convention.
Yeah.
For people to walk by and go, oh, look, I'm on the screen.
Very neat.
Cool. And that was basically it. That's what I got this week. So our hope is we're actually going to go see the CBC guy next week. And he has a lot of older stuff. That's the gentleman where I was able to get the OSI computer. I was able to, I still have to pick it up. I'm probably going to pick it up that day. Is a 1960s teletype.
Cool.
So it's a teletype with a printer, what do they call it? A punch card, like a punch tape printer built in, so you can actually make your own punch tapes and then load them back in to like a terminal. So it's kind of cool.
That is really cool.
That would make a great webcam, Ryan. That would be kind of fun to do a one of these videos where we do it on an old kit.
Mm.
I feel there's some way for us to like set up an old iMac and then have the video output just go into a modern computer to do the streaming, right? And then you could just hook up via FireWire or a converter box of some sort, a camcorder like that.
Yeah.
So I noticed there's a, I believe it's Monkey Island box there next to you. Is that
yes?
Is that one of your recent gets?
There is. Actually, something I picked up recently, which is upside down, is a new inbox, never opened copy of Spaceship Warlock. This is kind of one of the original CD-ROM games. It was popular. It did some biz back in the day,
nice.
But it didn't really take off the way that like the Seventh Guest or Mist or any of those other titles did. But this was made by Reactor. This was a company that really did a lot of stuff on the Macintosh back in the day. Cool. So I do not know if this is resealed because I've never seen another sealed copy. It is very possible that it's just like a blank
sheet of paper,
or just like a CD case with nothing in it inside here. I have no idea, but I don't dare open it because it's not worth opening. I would just, if I wanted the guts of another one, I would just buy another one, or I would just buy the CD, and there you go.
Did you find that? Was that an eBay purchase?
This was on eBay. Caught some people sleeping, basically. This normally it's not an expensive title. It's $50-$60. I think I got this for like $20 or something like that plus shipping. So, but it's pretty nice. And it also likes to blow my camera out because my
your lights right
camera can't keep up.
Now I'm assuming by the look of it, they shipped it very well. It was good, well packaged.
Yeah, it was pretty well packaged. So it arrived here in one piece.
So is that Ron's next video? You're going to teach us how to package software?
No, because I don't have
I'd watch
stuff to do that. But I did pick up something really great recently that I absolutely caught people sleeping on. This is a copy of the Secret of Monkey Island 2 for Macintosh of all platforms. Finding the Mac version of these games is really tough because number one, they didn't sell as many back in the day, so fewer have survived. And then if people want these, they grab them, they give them their collection, and they never let them go. But this is really great because this was listed on eBay as being returned to Monkey Island, which actually just today is celebrating its 3rd anniversary. But it's all the discs are present, the manual is here, all of the widgets and doodads and things like that. The big manual, LucasArts was really big on including or not manual, but like these little newspaper things, the Adventurer.
Oh yeah,
talk about upcoming titles and things like that. So cool. This is number 4 from 1992. So cool. This is quite an old game, but this is the thing that's oftentimes missing because people just think that the code wheels are kind of fun. So but it includes the code wheel.
Is that for copy protection?
It's for copy protection. Yes.
Okay, cool.
So the idea is that you actually have to look up. Actually, this one I think is about making recipes because there's kind of a thing in the game where you have to make some, like to progress in the game, you've got to make this formula for this stuff. And so if you don't make it correctly, you can't progress. But yeah. So cool. You can get kind of far in the game, and if you don't have the code wheel, then you're up the creek. Monkey Island, the original, if you don't have the code wheel at the very beginning, that's it. You just there's no game, there's no other game. Is it like built-in shareware? They made it so you get so far, and it's like, oh, if you want to get further, you got to buy the game. No, you basically you're just like you're either a paying customer or you're not. On the first one, the second one, at least you could play it a little bit, so it's almost like a demo.
Yeah,
if you got so far, but no, they're really fun games. Return to Monkey Island. Today is Talk Like a Pirate Day, which is why I thought it would be very important to talk about the Monkey Island series. I love the LucasArts games. I especially love the Monkey Island games, but the Return to Monkey Island came out like 3 years ago today, and it is basically it's like $7 or something on Steam right now. Cool. They used to LucasArts made some like remastered versions of the like Monkey Island 1, Monkey Island 2 a couple of years ago. I say a couple of years ago, like 15 years ago now. Right. Every Talk Like a Pirate Day, they would always make it where they were like $1 or something like that. They've stopped doing that. They're now full price forever, which kind of stinks. But it was very nice that this year is the first year in a very long time that there's been outside of a Steam sale or something like that, a special deal on any of the Monkey Island games. So
cool.
But yeah, go pick up a copy. It's a lot of fun. It is it has the original team, or most of the original team that made Monkey Island 1 and 2. Monkey Island 2 kind of ends on a weird cliffhanger, and then the people left LucasArts and went to go do other things in the games industry and were replaced by a different team that basically retconned out the ending, and just the series went in a completely different direction. But Return to Monkey Island kind of like retcons the retcon.
Okay. Cool.
And just explains it away in a way that is a little more satisfying than just like, hey, we decided to not do that.
So it's not like Halloween where it's like, oh, by the way, the last 3 Halloween movies, not canon.
Yeah, like that. All of that was not a thing. Sorry.
Apologies. That's exciting. So of the LucasArts games, are there any ones that you don't have that you're looking for that you
yes, Monkey Island 1.
Okay,
Monkey Island 1 would be really great, a retail box for that. It'd be really great to get Sam and Max Hit the Road. A lot of these games, I had the retail boxes back in the day and threw them out. I kept the discs throughout the boxes. The boxes take up a lot of space, or sold them or gave them away or whatever. But I would say that kind of like those 90s LucasArts games, sort of like Full Throttle. I do have a copy of Grim Fandango. That's the only one I kept from back in the day. So, but it's like I would say Monkey Island 1, Sam and Max Hit the Road, Day of the Tentacle, Maniac Mansion, Day of the Tentacle, and probably
Day of the Tentacle's in a
Sam and Max Hit the Road,
box, right?
Whatever. Day of the Tentacle is just in a regular square box, but there was like a version of it that was kind of in a weird triangular box. And actually, Terrible Toy Box, who is the developer that's got a lot of the people that used to be involved with Monkey Island and all that type of stuff, they actually made a funny little thing a couple of years ago that is a tri-sided box that one side of it is Full Throttle, one side of it is Day of the Tentacle, and the other side of it is come on, brain. The third one that they did. It's not Sam and Max Hit the Road. There's never been a remaster on that. Okay. That'd be really great. I'd love to play a remaster of Sam and Max Hit the Road, but it's not happened and probably won't.
The only downside to a box like that is all the collectors who go, now where am I putting it? Because they all have, everybody buys the standard shelf, right?
You'd have to just stick it somewhere and hope for the best, I think. So
yeah, for sure. One thing we didn't do this evening before we finish is we didn't say hello to everybody in the chat. So I apologize, guys. We started off, we had Dave from Dave's Vintage Apple Tech was here.
Yes.
Who? I mean, I'm scrolling all the way to the top. Talks amongst yourselves while I scroll. We had Apples Anonymous. CDI was here. Mike's Future Retro. JC, Jesus Christ himself, was here. Hello.
Wow.
Jesus.
Good for that.
Garth Bagel was here.
Yes. Bagel.
Rudy's Retro Intel. Francois. Who else do we have? Is that everybody? I think that might be everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. Oh, Jesse, I-8386 was here. David Starbuck. I think that is everybody.
Great.
Anybody else? I just want to say thanks to everybody for showing up.
Yeah.
Appreciate having you here this evening.
Fun. Yep.
Indeed. So, Ron, is there any last minute things we need to talk about? We've been an hour and 11 minutes. I mean...
Yeah, I would say.
Is there any films we need to discuss? Is there?
No. I think we're good on movies. But I was going to say, make sure Sunday evening.
Yes.
RRR. We'll probably discuss what happened at VCF Midwest and talk about just various funny little things that happened there, and I'm sure people will show some pickups and things like that. And
I feel like everybody went home with a complimentary case of COVID. Seems to
you know what? I was just fine.
Yeah.
My friend Alan that I rode up there with, he's just fine. I think there's a lot of people that were just fine.
Yeah.
But I think Steve, we went to Galloping Ghost and Steve absolutely is like, I think I got sick at the arcade. And I'm like,
but you didn't.
Yeah, but I was like, I mean, I didn't play any of the games he played or whatever, but
right. I blame the armadillo.
Oh, COVID hit Chris's house. Yeah.
Oh
no, I did play the armadillo game.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, and I played Tom a couple of times, and I was like, I don't understand this, and Tom was like playing to win, like he was like, just like really, and I was like, and I figured out that it's one of those things like this is the movement you make with your hands.
Yeah,
and you can win the game.
Yes.
You don't do one of these. It's one hand off the other, and it's not the top of the ball, it's the back side of the ball.
Yeah,
because this movement is hard, this movement is easy.
Right. Wax on, wax off.
Yeah, I'm pushing up, I'm swiping away.
Jesse said he didn't get COVID, but he was sick as a dog. So I'd say there was a combination of what do they call it, convention crud.
Yeah, it's the con crud.
Yeah.
And I think well, and it doesn't help people. You go up there, like I think I had 16 hours of sleep from Thursday to morning till Monday night.
Right.
So because there were a couple of times where there's stuff going on and you keep getting pulled in different directions, and it's like, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna stand here. People can come talk to me, or I want to go around and just check in and just see everything that's happening. Because last year was the first year at the venue, and it was really good, but I think that they also realized that there was a few tweaks that need to be made, and so they requested some additional rooms and
Right.
space. So, like last year, there was one big room that was like all the talks. Well,
Yeah.
this year they had a second room that was for kind of the B tier, no offense,
Yeah.
talks
Talks. Yeah.
that they didn't go in and record them or anything. That was kind of on the people that were doing the talks to do those things.
Okay.
Um, but they oh whoops. But they at least made an opportunity for people to kind of go in and figure out what what they're where it's like, oh, you want to do a little concert? Oh, you want to do a little talk about like a
Right.
very niche subject?
Thing.
They just stuck it in
Yep.
the room.
Cool.
And then they also had some other little rooms set up. They had one, I'm not sure what was going on. It was a big conference room, and but the same people were in it basically the whole event. Like I'd walk by and I'd see the same people, and they had keyboards and they had mixers and they had stuff in there. So maybe it's like kind of a music room, but
Okay.
there
Cool.
was no sign on the door. And when I looked in there, people looked at me like I had like backed into their car at Safeway. So I'm like, all right, good luck, folks. But they also had like a room that was a LAN party room. So there
Right.
was just a LAN party that
Because
ran
last year
the
that was just out
entire
in the
event.
middle everywhere, right?
And there was one of those too. But
Oh, there
then
was. Okay.
when the floor closes, it moved to this other
Oh,
space.
smart. So
Yeah.
you could go all
Mhm.
night long.
Yeah.
And was there a fantastic Indian wedding this year with great music and
Yes.
amazing food? There
Yes.
actually was?
There was. And
That's
it's
awesome.
because this is, I guess, a popular time of year.
Yeah, yeah,
So there was a huge wedding there, and it was, if you remember how loud it was
yeah.
last year, it was 5 times louder. So I'll tell a story. I'll tell a story here, and I'll probably tell it again on Sunday. But
Sure.
um, on one of the things that I wanted to do this year, I displayed all my 100 series power books. I've got a complete series of 100 series power books. Most of them have been restored. The ones that haven't been restored are the ones that are just not very interesting.
Mm,
Um, but I got them all restored. It was really great. And so went ahead and uh, had that on display. And then I had a cart. I've got a little cart that I picked up at Aldi or something. And I had a Quadra 605 speakers. I had a Roland SC55 monitor, all that type of stuff, a keyboard, mouse, everything. So you could just run a mixer
mm.
and microphones. So the whole thing was MIDI karaoke.
Oh,
So
awesome.
I had a ton of MIDI files with lyrics and everything. So you could just go up to the machine, or you could just come up and you could just sing your heart out in front of strangers if you wanted to. And so I kind of advertised it a little bit during the day on Saturday, because I'd kick it on, I'd turn the music on, and I would sing like a minute of the Islands in the Stream or like a Billy Joel song or something like that. And I'm pointing it, I'm doing like the Bill Murray, like Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars, and just
Yeah,
like hamming it up. And
right.
so a couple people saw that, and then when the event shut down for the night, we went over to the back to the hotel side, and I just brought the cart. I just pushed the cart, I plugged it in, brought it all up, and I just went around. I was like, "Hey, are you inebriated enough to sing?" And a couple people were like, not yet, but talk to me in 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. I'm ready to sing. And so people came over, like Eric's Edge came over, met some new friends that came
Yeah.
over. Everybody wanted to sing. They're asking for like, do you have Battle Hymn of the Republic? No, no. Hey, do you have like some obscure like death metal song? No, I don't. Because everything that's on here is kind of like wedding music.
Yeah,
Because guess what? Because MIDI, all these MIDI files and stuff, that's who the target audience was. And
right.
it's kind of like it's kind of locked in this certain era of music too.
Yeah,
So there's not going to be very many Cardi B songs on there,
yeah.
or even iCarly songs. But so anyway, I had it all set up, and people are singing and having a good time. All of a sudden, two big dudes come over that are hotel security, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, you're gonna have to turn this down." And I'm like, I said, "Oh," I said, "I had no idea." And they're like, "Yeah, it's like carrying, like all this is carrying up to the rooms and we're getting complaints." And I said, "Hey, I am so sorry." I said,
Yeah.
"I didn't understand." So I went over there and I turned the microphone and I turned the like the MIDI volume down to like 25%. So somebody standing right in front of it can sit there and sing along. And the guy was like, "You getting ready to fire this back up?" And I'm like, "No, absolutely not." So I shut it all down. I went over and talked to him and I was like, "Hey," I said, "I misunderstood. I thought you were saying it's too loud." And he goes, "Yeah, it's too loud." And I said, "Sure, but that doesn't mean stop doing
Yeah, it's
it."
not. If you want me to turn it off, tell me
Yeah, I was
turn it
like,
off.
"Yeah, if you want me to turn it off, I mean, that's no trouble, I'll turn it off."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, it'd be really great if you turned it off." And I said, "It's no trouble. It is now off, and I'm really sorry." And I was like, "I promise you there ain't a person standing out here that wants to do anything to hurt the relationship of the event with the venue." I said, "You guys have such a beautiful place. It does everything that we need it to do. So it would be really, really great." So I was talking with someone at the bar, and they mentioned they were in their room on the seventh floor and heard it through their doors. And I think it's because I don't know if it was the music part, it was the singing part, because it's two different adjustments. Came down to see what all the fun in the lobby was. There was some guy that came up and was like, "Hey, I can hear your music over here," but he was like standing by the bar, and I'm like, "That's probably good because it's 10 feet away." So you can kind of hear a little bit. But
But
I
so
I don't
was the
it was
wedding loud too? Like,
the wedding was louder. So
yeah,
much so they had to go and close the doors that connect the
the
venue
catwalk or
side
the catwalk.
to
Yeah.
the catwalk and everything,
Yeah.
because it was echoing through and they were getting complaints about that too. But
Yeah.
that was more the people in the rooms closer to that side.
Right. Right.
So, but my understanding is that Indian Wedding got more complaints than MIDI. So that's probably
That's
good.
fine.
And so when they came and they said, and I understood what was going on, I just immediately shut everything down and
Yeah.
apologized to the people at the venue and went over to the desk and I said, "Hey, like, you didn't have to send um oh, it was the one
Guns.
where it was one you were singing Take on Me. I wasn't actually singing it. It was other people on the microphone. I never actually got to sing. I set it up for other people. So yeah, it's unfortunate that people got bugged by it, but it's
Mm.
okay. I talked to some people at the event and just said, "Hey, it'd be really great if we could do this." And actually, the hotel was like, "Hey, if you want to go to the convention side, um, there's some open rooms over there. You guys could just go over there and blast it out." And I'm like, "People are over here partying. I don't want to
Yeah. Yeah.
be the person that's trying to split the group or something."
Yeah.
So I said, "This was such a
I
just
mean,
a
it might
simple
be
little
nice.
add-on silliness."
It might be
Yeah.
nice for next year though, like
Mhm.
because even I remember last year, you were kind of concerned if you were just kind of hanging out in that middle area. Maybe it was a bit too loud. There were other pay.
Yeah.
Like maybe we
Mhm.
need to have a after hours
Yes.
lounge,
And I'm thinking that
right?
you make yes, and I would say that last year, Friday night
Mm.
well, hold on. Thursday night,
Yeah.
there wasn't anything in the lobby.
Right.
It was like small groups, people sitting around chatting. It was very low key.
Yeah.
This year, it was a huge group of people on Thursday night. I think a lot of people came in on Thursday.
Okay.
Friday night, it was a huge group. Plus, there was other events in the hotel, and they were coming over to hang out with us. Okay, and then Saturday was massive, and that ran till like 4 a.m. on
Right.
Saturday, and then you had to be up at like 7 to get ready by 8 to get down to the
Down to
convention,
the show.
but down to the show.
Yeah,
But
I remember watching I was
Mhm.
watching the VCF chat on
Yeah,
Discord, and people were like, I saw someone comment on something at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then at a couple hours later, like breakfast question mark. I'm like,
yeah,
did
exactly.
anybody sleep?
No one slept. But and then Sunday night, which typically a lot of people hit the road, there was still 50, 60 people in the lobby on Saturday just hanging out. So what I was gonna say is this. Um, Next year, it might be good, like you were mentioning, to consider having the after party thing in one of the rooms,
Hmm.
one of these like ballroom or one of these
Okay.
rooms that are on the convention side.
Yeah.
and just like leaving the lobby for quieter conversations or something.
Yeah.
I there may be some I don't know that there was any complaints from the venue because they're like, we're not going to piss these guys off because
Because they're booking 90% of the
people,
hotel right now.
yeah, it's yes, I was going to say people are coming in and booking 90% of the hotel. Some of these people come in Thursday to Sunday.
Right.
That is like nearly $1,000 in because I mean
Fees.
between
Yeah.
it's probably eight something for the room, and
Yeah.
you're going to spend another $200
On
in
food.
uh concession
Yeah.
at food on the floor, food in the little public house thing that they have in
Yeah.
there, the restaurant, their bar, all
Starbucks
that
for
type of
coffee
stuff.
in the
Yes.
morning. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Mhm.
think it's a great idea. And, it then offers opportunities for like it to be part of the stop bits, or a band that wants to play. You could have
Yeah.
somebody play, you could do
Mhm.
karaoke, you could,
Yeah.
right? Like
Problem
there's things.
problem is that there's now a tradition that I am certainly not gonna step on toes with because
Right.
they're too nice of people. Jeremy and Megan from
Yes.
Jeremy's Retro Bar, they set up the retro bar. They did it
Right.
last year for the first time because it's a new venue, no tradition like a new tradition.
Right.
And so they had it out there. Now this year they did something different based on community feedback, which was um they did not make all the drinks gay bar strong.
Right.
They
Only
made them
partially.
like 75%, and then they also had non-alcoholic drinks there
Oh,
too.
nice. Nice.
So now the other thing that needs to go for next year is there just needs to be water there too. And
Right.
and that's just the interest of, and that's something that I need to remember to do and supply since I'm the
Yeah.
one that had the concern about it. Because we did have some people that were not part of our group that came and hung out, and they absolutely got like smashed. They were already drunk when they got there.
Right.
They got more drunker, and then there wasn't any water to
Right.
give them. There wasn't
One
vending with
thing
water. There wasn't anything with water.
I was wondering too is like I know here where I am, a lot of times hotels don't let you provide your own liquor. So I'd be interested. I'd be concerned
I
that if
don't know that this is I don't know that anybody knows anything or cares.
right.
They're
Yeah.
just
Right.
like, you know what? People can bring things in from the outside,
Sure.
and it doesn't really kick off until the bar's closed.
Right.
So you
That's right. Because the
can't
bar was
buy
technically closed.
anything else,
Yeah.
and you're not selling anything,
No.
giving stuff away.
Right.
So you can certainly in the state of Illinois, you can go to a packaged liquor store,
Buy
legally buy
liquor
something, pay the
and give it
state
away.
tax on it, bring it back, and give it away to anybody that you want that is of legal drinking age.
Right.
There's that does not constitute legal advice.
Right.
However, that is how parties work. That is
Right.
how anything like that works.
Right.
So now the hotel might have a rule or something on that we don't want to have outside food. We don't have good
Yeah.
luck policing it. Are you
Sure.
going to get every DoorDash driver? You're going to be down there with
Right.
like a
A
ten
bat
foot
chasing them
pole
away.
pushing them back out the door? No, I don't think so. But
But outside liquor's a big no-no in Wisconsin because Tavern League, because of
yeah,
ordinance. Yeah. And
mhm,
in some places like that, I know here there's the question of like if something has a liquor license, like the hotel would have a liquor license, um, they are then responsible for any liquor consumed on the property and
mhm,
the ramifications of that,
yeah.
however that may,
Mhm.
unfold.
But there's a lot of people that just went out and bought
Yeah.
things and brought it there,
Yeah,
and
yeah, for sure,
so
for sure.
so our friends brought some stuff and then
No, it's awesome. Their
handed out
drinks
some
last year were
drinks, and
deadly.
I'm sure if somebody said please don't, they would just be like, you know what, you're 100% right, I won't.
Yeah.
But seemingly it wasn't an issue because
Cool.
the hotel came through. I mean, again, we're responsible. You go through at the end of the night with,
Yeah.
you go
Clean
up
it
to
up.
the counter, hey, we need trash bags. You
Yeah.
go through, you bust all the stuff, you put things away. I'm not saying it was perfect. I'm not saying that people didn't leave like a
Stuff
bottle
places.
here and
Yeah.
a thing of chippy bag somewhere. But they have those spaces set up specifically for people to congregate
Yeah.
and people to, and this is all happening later in the evening, so your respectable people are already, your business people are already
Yeah.
come and gone. So
Right.
it's I am sure that like anything like this, there'll be a little bit of a time of adjustment, figuring out what the norms are and where the lines are.
Sure.
But I think this year we established some standards on like what the noise level needs to be and all of that. But
Yeah. And like Jesse says, it's a give and take. So I'm
yeah.
sure the hotel lets things slide
Yeah.
a
Oh,
little bit.
sure. It's a
Big does.
ton of money. I
It's a lot of money.
Here's the thing though. I would not see VCF Midwest taking a stand on things that are not official activities of the event,
Right,
which
right.
the get
After party
together
is
in the
definitely not.
lobby is not a full officially
Yeah,
sanctioned thing. It's not on the schedule.
no,
People just started doing it.
yeah,
They started doing it at the Clarion, but the
right,
problem is there's nowhere to sit and it's like a very small area. And so it kind of like people would just go to rooms and have room parties. Well,
yeah,
now the room parties are loud and there's people, it's like my family of 5 is staying next
trying to sleep.
door and we can't sleep. And so
Yeah,
I'm sure that they'd much rather get everybody in, but just
for
keep the
sure,
volume to a
for
certain
sure.
level.
But like I
Yeah.
said, if they opened a room for you and it was a not a sanctioned, we don't even call it a
Mhm.
sanctioned event. They just call it, an after
Mhm.
party or after
Yeah.
hours room.
Yeah.
Be fantastic.
So I think what I'd like to do is next year convince Megan and Jeremy to and the people that sponsored this,
Hmm,
that bought things and provided snacks and things like that to do it in the the other building.
yeah,
So
the other
we're
side.
very far away from all that. And then after a certain time, you can close that down and then have people go and yeah. They'll open it for yeah, but I here's again, this year we had like a ton of extra rooms, but it wasn't really like I didn't really know about it so much.
Yeah,
You happen to just like stick your head and be like, "Oh, here's people I know." And you go inside and they're working on an activity or something like
cool.
that. So, but
And
it
I
probably
noticed in the video, the space, they utilized the entire space this time, right?
yes.
Because
Well,
last
no, no,
year
no, no. It's like 80%.
it's still 80%. Okay. I
Yeah.
was wondering if they'd knocked down that extra set of walls.
Well, it's if you think about it last time, the two there's a bunch of docks that go off the
Mm,
back of this thing
yeah,
for
yeah,
loading in and doing your events. There's like 4 docks off the back, okay? Well,
yeah.
last time they had like 2 of the docks exposed, and then there's a little area and there's like another one of those food kiosk things in
Right,
there, okay? And when I say food kiosk thing, it's like, a 50-foot long
yeah.
thing, okay?
Like cafeteria
And then the
style.
wall ended right there. It
Yeah.
ended right there on the other side of that. This year, it pushed back another, like, 40 feet. So there was
Nice.
even
Yeah.
more tables and even more space being used back there.
Cool.
And
Awesome.
there was a lot more tables. I will say that due to, some measurement thing next year, you gotta bring a tape measure. Everybody needs a tape measure. There was, like, 3 tape measures, and they were trying to figure out where they're gonna, like, set the kind of, like, you know, the map of tables was really good. The problem was setting up the tables because where do you
Right,
start?
right,
So they had a really detailed drawing, but if you don't have the ability to say, this is exactly 26 feet off the back wall, it makes it
right.
really hard because by the time you get to the other wall,
Like
you're a foot off. Now you're
exactly.
2 foot off.
Feet.
Now you're 4 feet off.
And everything's
Now
on a
you're
diagonal.
8 feet off. Yeah, and then yes. So really what they need is like a chalk
Chalk line.
line
Yeah, or tape
and
line or tape
yeah,
cross
and just
X's.
yes, where it's basically like here's the corners.
Yeah.
It just measure things off, figure out, get it square,
You need a
and
what's it called? A meter wheel that you can walk along the ground and go
and they
there.
somebody finally had that and
Yeah,
just kind of went along. It was like, okay, mark it and then
yeah,
mark it. The people that did that though are the professional people that had to come in and set the extra tables.
right,
We only because of the space, we only set like a quarter of the building.
right,
The rest of it was this professional company that they bring in that
right.
you show them the map and they are out there with like laser level,
Yeah,
like making everything exactly straight and all that. Yeah.
yeah. Because if you go to any other type of con,
Mhm.
the everything's perfect. Like if you go to
Yeah.
SEMA or
Mhm.
CES or any of the
Yeah.
big, like
Mhm.
everybody's
Well, they
booth is perfectly
yeah,
laid out
well,
because you pay
they
for it.
yes, I'm paying for that space and it's
Yeah,
gotta be exact or otherwise people complain and you're giving refunds, so
yeah,
but
exactly.
it took a couple times because people set table well, what happened was this, is there were some people that were like, "Well, this is our space, and we're just gonna set up our thing." Wrong attitude to have at these
Right.
events. You need to be that it's
How
like, "We're
may I
gonna
help?
Yes, that's if you're not saying, "How do I assist you? How do I help?" You've got the wrong attitude.
Yeah.
Granted, not everybody can do that. Not everybody's got the strength or the
Yep.
stamina or can do those things, and that's fine to
Go wait in the
every
porch, and we'll let you know when it's ready.
to every person's ability,
Yes.
whatever. You can contribute in some way. You could sit
Right.
there and just fold the table tents or something like that,
Yeah.
but just always be doing something. And so, the problem was is there were some people that just went and set their tables up. You set them up with no, like, cornerstone of
Yeah.
where this actually the measuring
Yeah.
starts. They
And then
just
you're
were
like,
like, "Oh, this generally looks like the area that we're supposed to." So all those people got their tables moved, and then they were all upset. It's
right.
like, "Don't worry, you're still standing here. You can move them again. You
Yeah.
moved them once, you can
Move 'em
move them
again.
again."
Well,
And the other
they end up like those people that, refuse to sell out to the big highway project, and they're
Mhm.
just the highway project comes in, and they kinda everybody's gotta kinda
Yeah,
walk
just
walk or work around them,
mhm.
right? But yeah, no, it makes total sense to
But the other thing was trying to explain to people how to read a planogram on that stuff, where it's uh, like there were some young guys that had a lot of energy, a lot of moxie. They were
yeah,
down there. They were just busting hump to get some of this stuff done. And then I go over there and I'm like, your table's too small. Your stuff is too small. And they're like, no, it's exactly what it shows on the thing. And I said, well, I said, let me show you this. I said, you see this black square here?
mm,
That's a pillar.
yeah,
And that pillar is surrounded by tables. Your tables are on the wrong side of the pillar. So it's not because you moved the table too far down. I said, if you look here, you see how it says 8, 8, 8, 3, 8, 8, 8, 3.
yeah,
What do you suppose the 3 is? Oh, I don't know. I said,
gap,
it's the gap between the tables. You got to calculate that in.
right,
So I said, well, they're like, well, it doesn't matter because we don't have a ruler. And I said, how tall are you? Like 5'11". Sounds great.
one arm.
The tip of your fingers
Yeah,
to the center of your chest, basically 3 feet. I
yeah,
said, you can go out there and just do a real quick measure. You just got to get it close. This is not rocket science. We're not, I said, somebody's going to come back afterwards. They're going to adjust this. But you guys, if you want to be doing all these tables and setting all this stuff up, it's got to be done in a way that does not create more work for other people.
right.
So get
Work
it
smarter, not
close.
harder.
Yes, get it close,
Mm,
and other people will come behind you and tweak.
yeah,
I said, so not crapping on your effort,
right,
not saying that aren't doing a great job, but this specific thing, you're doing a bad job.
yeah,
So I need you to just take some advice,
yeah,
feedback's a gift,
yep,
and do the other ones this way. And they did. And it was like they were all great. So as
perfect.
soon as we figured out the first little measurement of things, and it's not exact. It's not exactly 3 feet. It's a little off. If you're 6 feet tall, though, generally speaking, unless you have some sort of like genetic difference or something like that, tip of your fingers to your tip of your fingers is going to be basically your height.
Right. So if you're close
Nature
on 6
nature
foot,
worked that out for you.
yeah, if you're close on 6 foot, then your arm and to your chest is 3 feet.
Yeah. But no, it was not the venue setting up all the tables. The about a quarter of the tables were set up by volunteers.
Right.
So that way, that it was basically on Thursday night, or not even, yeah, Thursday night. Um, there was a bunch of, was it Thursday night? Yeah,
It's
it was
hard to tell.
Thursday night. Yeah, it's Thursday night. Yes, sorry, 100% Thursday night. Like a quarter of the tables went in kind of in the back corner,
Mm,
and that kind of set the spacing for everything else. And
yeah,
then what happened was the the table company that they hire that comes in with professional people, they came in first thing Friday morning and set up all the rest of the tables. As soon as they were done, it was okay for the team to come in and then put, or volunteer team to come in and put um, tablecloths all over everything.
perfect. And but did people already have their table set up and they had to move everything to put the tablecloths on?
No, you were not
Okay,
supposed to put anything on a table
gotcha.
until Friday morning. and you could
Perfect.
only put it on your table Friday morning after
The tablecloth.
the table people were gone.
The table.
Because, well, it's trades.
Right.
So you don't want to mess with the trades people. You let
Yep.
them, you got to have a good relationship with them. You got people over there dicking around doing stuff underfoot. That's a great way to lose them. It's like, man, that's fine. There's another event going. It's Chicago. There's another event going on across town. We'll just go and work that event this weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't care. It's, I mean, so to keep in good graces with the people, the idea is let them get their job completely done. They will let us know when they are done.
Mm-hmm.
The people that run the event go through, they do a check. If it passes the check, at that point, you're able to start setting things up. So I think at like 11 a.m. Yeah. And I was like, and I don't know if these guys are part of a union or anything like that, but yeah, there could be a grievance and you don't want to deal with all of that. So what VCF Midwest said very clearly is stay out of these folks' way. They're professionals. They're here to help us. Do not get underfoot. Don't talk to them. If they talk to you and ask you a question, immediately make sure that they can talk to one of us and just let them do their thing. And by gosh, they were fast and they were professional and they got it all set up. And then the boxes of tablecloths came out got tablecloths out as quick as possible. And then people immediately started setting things up. There were some people, there was a bit of confusion. People were saying it was like, oh, well, what are those guys saying? They're system source. They're okay. They're just bringing stuff. It goes way in the back. They've even got their own tables. Just let these guys do their thing. But other people that were like, I got to get my table of floppy cables set up. You're going to have to wait until the appropriate time. So,
yeah. And I know that previous years they've had issues with people kind of sneaking in.
Yeah.
Was there much of that this year?
No, there wasn't. This year was really good. They actually had people that were watching the door.
Perfect.
And after like Friday morning, basically they had somebody at the door. And if you're not specifically had a exhibition tag or have a volunteer tag or whatever it is, or a speaker tag, you didn't get in the floor unless you were specifically, your person came out and collected you and then brought you in. And they were kind of watching. Yeah, the guy with the junk table was not there this year. It turns out $75 for a table for you to try to sell case screws doesn't make good financial sense.
Yeah. And for the better, I might add.
Yeah.
And cool. So if people want to see a sneak peek of some of the gets, I guess, and some behind the scenes stories about VCF Midwest this year, they got to tune into Retro Repair Roundup on Sunday.
They can check it out. More and more videos from people are starting to trickle out.
Yep.
So I would say B, if you know who B is, I can't remember her channel name, but it's like phone. Oh gosh, I feel bad. But she did a really great video and it's just funny. Her video is just funny.
Yeah.
I linked to it on oh gosh, whatever you call it. It's on Blue Sky. You can go out to my Blue Sky and take a look. So, but it's cool. I did a link to hers. Mike, the Tech Knight, he's got a walkthrough video. I've got a walkthrough video. Mine is on Friday night, so there's a lot of stuff set up and before anybody did anything. So, but that's kind of the day, and it's good too, because it used to be people were thinking it was like a third day of the event. So
bless you.
So just thank you. So people would just show up and go in there, and they're in there trying to make deals. Because I mean, last year I was over there setting up my booth, and literally some guy came up and started to like pawing through my boxes. And I was like, "Can I help you?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm just looking at all your stuff." And I said, "Right, but you can look at it when it's on a table later."
Yeah.
I was like, none of this is for sale yet. And, oh, okay, all right. It's like, that's fine, but I think.
But there was none of that this year. There was guards on the doors.
I did not encounter any of that this year. I'm not saying that people didn't sneak in and try to get a deal on things or whatever, but and unlike last year, I do think that prices were a little bit more grounded in reality. Of course, there are a few people that want the move. Like, you'll go up to them and say, how much you want for this? And it'll be like XYZ, and he'd be like, whew. And they're like, well, I could always put it on eBay. And so anymore, I'm just honest. And I said, if you were going to put it on eBay, it'd already be on there.
Right.
So if you why bring it here? It seems very heavy to just have to carry this home.
Yeah, and that's we've had this conversation before. The the thing that starts out at $100 on day one is usually 15 or $20 by the time.
Yeah, or it just goes on the free pile because people don't want to take it with them. So and it's okay. I mean, nothing ventured, nothing gained. It's your stuff. You sell it for exactly what you want, but try to also remember that there's a finite amount of space at this event. And if you're just going to bring all your stuff just to turn around and take it home with you, well, just leave it at home and come and enjoy the event as an attendee. It's like there was Steve was talking about that actually on Friday night walking through, there was a guy that had a Mac Charlie. That is a, the 1 p.m. free pile cutoff was nice too. Got rid of all the stuff, got the people out of there. But, yep, that doesn't sound like the enthusiast spirit.
Agreed.
Yeah, but the something that was nice though is that, or something that I was going to say is that there were some people that you would go to their table and they would have like something on it, and it's that thing where it's like, oh, that's my buddy's and he's not here and I don't know what he wants anymore. I just say, can you text him?
Yeah,
or I'll say, you guys really should put pricing on things, because then you could just sell it while he's not here. And if it's cash, you have the cash. You're not having to double check a Venmo transaction or something.
Right.
I said, if I got to pay electronically, I'll wait till your buddy's here. But I mean, this is a $5 game.
Right.
It's, what are we waiting on? Let's just get this done. So would you hold it? I don't know. I can't. If you can't sell it and you can't hold it, what are you doing here? You should go and have fun at the event.
Exactly.
I mean, you're giving people a mixed message that that maybe it's your stuff. It's not your stuff. Can you sell it? No, I can't sell it.
Basic capitalism. Take my money.
Yeah. Can you hold it for me until your buddy comes back? No, I can't do that either. Sir, why are you here?
So, what purpose are you serving right now?
But there was a guy that had some stuff there, and he had some interesting old things, and he had he had a Mac Charlie keyboard, because the original Macintosh was like an add-on for the side, IBM PC compatible. There was a little brackety thing that goes around the original Mac keyboard, so that way it's got F keys and stuff on it for doing DOS kind of things. And so he had one of those, and people kept coming up and picking it up and looking at it and moving it. I finally, Steve looked at it, or I went over there and I looked at it, and Steve looked at it, and I was like, you know what this is? And he's like, yeah, I know what it is. And so I was like, a lot of people are touching this as if they know what's going on. So I picked it up and I put it behind the guy's desk. Well, he came back and he was like, wah! Like, my thing's missing. Oh, it's just sitting right there. Oh, thank goodness. If it's that big of a deal, you should have this under lock and key. If you're really worried about it. It's a valuable thing. Don't get me wrong, but you did just leave it on top of your table. So Steve's like, well, what do you want for it? Well, I don't know, because I got like the Mac Charlie, but it's at home. So I don't, I don't want to sell it separate. Okay. Can you go home and get the, no, I can't do that. Well, what about this other thing you got? Well, this is only part of it, and I got the rest of it at home. Sir, why'd you haul all this stuff in if you can't sell any of it? You understand where you're at right now, right? It's like, this is the place to unload all this stuff. Yeah. And more than that, it's like, just sell this part and then sell the other part later. Or guess what? Sell me this part.
Yeah. It's like, here's my information. Exactly.
Contact me.
Yeah.
And then I'll buy it from you later. There were a lot of people that could not make that leap. And it really what it comes down to. And it's just that they're not salespeople. They're collector people that are just like, I need to move some of this stuff on. But it's part that they don't have the acumen to like just do that.
Yeah.
And part of it is, if I get rid of this, then it's gone. And all I have is money.
Right.
And
do with dirty money?
What's the value of that? It's so. Yeah. So there were a lot of times where people were doing stuff, but Kate and I, we went and bought or I didn't buy anything. Kate bought it, but there was a guy that had a piece of equipment that she wanted. The guy, it originally started at like $1,200 and went to like $1,000 and went to like $800 and went to $700. And I'm like, I just went up and I was like, just being honest, a lot of the value of this is tied up in the accessories, which you do not have. You just have the main thing. I said, it's like $500 worth of accessories to go with this to complete this item.
$300.
I was like, say what?
$300.
Yeah,
My
I was
final
like,
offer.
$300. It was like, well, I don't know. I'm like, well, I do know. I
Yeah.
said, it's this, that's what it's worth at
Yeah.
4 p.m. or not 4 p.m., but like 2 p.m. on Sunday. It's worth $300.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I don't know. I could put it on eBay. If you were going to put it on eBay, it would already be on eBay.
Yeah.
Well, I can ship it. No, you can't. I said, this won't survive shipping. It'll be damaged. And then you're out. You have nothing at that point because your buyer's going to get a refund. That's it. I said, tell you what, 50%, $350. And he was like, that's fine. So she got her item that she wanted. It got talked down to what is a reasonable price for what that thing was. So there wasn't deals to be had. You just had to horse trade a little bit. You had to kind of put like a little pressure on.
And I love that.
Folks.
That's my favorite part is I live for that type of.
I love that too.
Right.
And that's why I like events like this, because I want to talk to people. I want to get a deal on something, or I want to feel like I got a deal on something. Or if we just have an amazing conversation, I'll pay full price just because we've now got this connection. Because guess what? In the future, I can reach out to you and you might have the other thing I'm looking for, and now we can make the deal.
And you're not burning bridges, you're not ripping people off. I mean, remember last year the guy had the was it the Apple IIe cards for and he thought they were network cards or something, like we're all just kind of lumped into a pile.
Yes, he had that was the Apple guy, used to run a dealership, stuff like that. Steve and I went over there, we looked at some stuff. He had an Apple IIe card in it. I picked it up and I looked at it and I put it right back down where I saw it. I immediately went and got Steve, brought Steve back over. So you've got someone there that witnessed what was about to happen. I said, I had this thing, I had the card, I showed the guy the card. I said, how much for this? And he goes, I don't know, $20. I said, sold. So I gave him the $20. I held on to it. I said, now I want you to know what this is, because I'm going to sell it back to you for $20. I said, this is the Apple IIe card for the LCs. These are kind of rare. They're very expensive. I said, this is probably, I don't know. I've given them away. They're not worth a lot to me. But I was like, this is probably worth $300 if you put it on eBay. And he goes, oh my gosh. And I said, right. Give me my 20 back. Here's your card. Put it aside. I was like, if you have other things like this, and this was Sunday. So it's like but it was like an archaeological dig. People were digging through. After that, Steve and I went through and looked at his stuff to try to see if there was anything else that stood out as like a super rare item so we could get it to him, because this guy was liquidating stuff for retirement. So that's the other part of this is like, I want to horse trade. I want to dicker on price and stuff like that. But I also don't want to take advantage of anybody,
for sure,
because there's a lot of people that are just there because it's like, I'm at the end of the hobby, or I'm at the end of my career, or whatever it is. I want to sell those things, get them out the door, so that way that other people can enjoy them, but I don't want to get taken advantage of either. So I think that that's part of it too. It's good to get a deal, but if you got to screw somebody over to get the deal,
it's not worth it.
You can call it karma, you can call it, whatever you want to call it. You can
Catholic guilt for me.
You can just call it being a good person, or you can be like exercising the base tenet of every religion on the planet of treat other people the way you want to be treated. So you do that thing. So Chris just said, I feel the same way. Chris picked up an amazing pile of Macintosh stuff for other people and just gave it away to those people, or, and the lady wanted like $100 for everything. I think like Chris said he gave her like $500 or $600 because it was like, you've got so much stuff here. And it's like, I just feel bad taking it all. I mean, she was like, you're doing me a favor by taking all this stuff. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, you have to keep in mind that I don't know what's next, but if there is a check and balance on all this type of stuff, I would certainly like for that to be to where it's like, you know what, you gave more than you took.
Like if I could come back, if there is reincarnation, if I do good on this earth today, maybe I'll come back as a house cat and live one of the best lives in the world.
Wouldn't that be great?
Right?
Wouldn't that be
Garfield.
Great? Yes.
Eating lasagna and making fun of Odie and just pissing off
Normal
John.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, I just I know that there are people that come to these things specifically because it's like they've got that like mindset that they're wanting to,
Thanks,
just
CDI. Thanks.
rook people. I'm not one of those people. I would rather just give something away. And there's a lot of stuff that I bought at the show that will just eventually just be given away to people.
That's one of the things. Like you talk about people liquidating stuff and selling it.
Mm-hmm.
I find that if I sell something, and I very rarely sell something,
mm-hmm.
I feel upset about it. But if I
do
take
too.
that same item and give it to somebody, it's totally different.
Yes, it is. And I think it's
right. Like
I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's like somebody did something really, really nice for me, and I'll talk about it on Sunday. But it was like they gave me something at the show that was something I've wanted for a very long time that I had no access to. None of these exist. And it was just like, here's this thing. And it didn't mean as much to them. And the words that they used were, I've had this for 30 years and I've gotten all the enjoyment out of it that I'm going to get. It's a way for those things to live on and to bring other people joy, that it's more valuable to do that than it is to make a tiny amount of money. I say that all the time, where it's just like, this is maybe a place of privilege. This is like somebody that is like firmly middle class, that has a little bit of, disposable income and things like that. So I recognize my privilege in saying this, but if I can throw a tiny bit of money about something and it makes something better for somebody else, I will just go make more money.
Right.
I can just go make more money.
Yeah.
I can't make more time, or I can't make more. I can't fix this experience or this interaction with somebody with money, but I could certainly find a kid at the show that is like, looking through stuff and is like, oh yeah, I collect such and such or whatever. Hang out right here because I know where this thing is, this thing you're looking for. You grab the parent, you grab the kid, you go over to the table. It's like, let's close, and you like, it's like, hey, this kid is really wanting this thing. Let him get a deal on it. I'll cover the difference or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yes, those type of things. So now this kid is like, they'll be back every year.
Right.
So because they're like, this was a lot of fun.
And we talk about not gatekeeping. This is this is opposite of, like, this is the complete opposite of gatekeeping, right? By getting people interested in the hobby and moving that next generation.
There were tons of parents and stuff there with their kids, and they looked like that they had just been like drug into a war zone, and they were
like,
just
what kind of like, hellhole flea market is this?
Yeah, and the kids are just like, it's like the Always Sunny, like they're just like, oh, this is amazing, and you do all this stuff. And it's like, I would absolutely, you see those kids that are doing that, and you go up and it's like, hey, is this your first year here? Yes, it is. Have you met Adrian? Do you watch Adrian on YouTube? Yes. Do you know LGR? Do you know? And it's like, yes. And it was like, you need to go and just meet them. I don't have any special connection, but I will go up to the front of the line and say, can this kid just sneak up front, and do whatever. And so they get that little kind of the princess treatment, and then they feel
you're
really
lighting
good
the fire. You're nurturing the fire,
and making sure to tell the parents that it's like, this hobby dies if young people are not interested in doing it. If we're not making investments in young people and all of that, it's done. This will all just be e-waste one day.
Yep.
But if we get young people excited about it, that they want to go and keep doing things, then absolutely, then this will just keep going forever. It'll change, and that's fine, but it won't die, and that's the important thing that I really am concerned about. But the other thing that I said to kids and parents was like, are you having fun this year? Yeah, it's really, really great. What are you doing for your table next year?
Right.
Oh, I never thought about it. What are you into?
Sure.
It's like, well, I really like laptops. Sounds awesome. You should, if you got 2 laptops, you got them all configured or whatever, you got some games or something on it, or you're just really excited, want to talk to people about it, get a table next year and tell people about your laptops. Or if you don't want to do a table, I show them my little $30 Aldi cart. I said, you can pick these up on Facebook Marketplace. You can pick them up at Aldi and places like that. I said, bring the little cart, put your laptops on the cart, put a little banner on your cart, and push it around and talk to other people. Just go up to other people and tell them about the stuff, or they'll see you going around. They'll ask you questions.
Yep.
But it's like, but do something next year.
Yep.
and they'll do something next year. They'll do something the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that, and then it just keeps going forever.
Yeah, the hobby never dies.
Well, until the heat death of the universe, but I can't do anything about that.
Well, to be honest with you, how many times are we going to have to recap a Mac by the time the sun expands into a a red giant?
Yeah, I mean, there is a point where it's like the sun is going to swallow the earth, and then
Right.
hopefully by then we're doing all this
But
hobby somewhere else.
at some point when that happens in the future, there will be a frozen pizza in a fridge somewhere that for a brief second will be perfectly cooked.
Perfectly cooked. That's a real, like, the Titanic's pool is full of water.
Yeah, or the
lobster.
The lobster to the Titanic. The lobsters on the Titanic. The iceberg was a miracle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Golly.
Anyway, we've been at this 2 hours exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a great show.
This was good. This was a goodly amount.
Indeed. So thank you everybody for joining us. We have a few latecomers. I see that One Bit Fever Dream jumped in there, as well as Gut Bomb. Hi guys.
Yeah. Hey.
If you haven't checked out Gut Bomb's latest video on the 630, was it the 630?
Yeah, this is the Quadra 630 Crummy. It turns out it might be. You'll have to watch the video.
You have to watch the video.
You also have to watch it for all of the really cool David Lynch
references
and stuff.
Yeah, there was at one point where you're watching it, and if you didn't know that was going to happen, it's a bit of a mind. I'm like, what is going on?
Yes,
because it comes out of nowhere.
It does. It kind of comes out of nowhere, but I'm very pleased that Gut Bomb was nice enough to include me in his
Veronica's here.
Games. Yeah.
Hi, Veronica. Yes, we're actually winding down, but you got in there in the last minute. That's exciting.
We honestly, Veronica, I don't know what you're doing on Sunday, but you should come on RRR and talk about Stop Bits things and promote the CD and make some sales and things like that. Even if you just need a 5-minute segment or something like that, that would be great.
Yeah, 100%. That would be, as the kids say, deadly.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Ron,
it would be totally wizard.
It would. I believe the kids say cooked or cook. It'll cook. Yes, if something's cooked, it's bad, but if it's cooking, it's good.
Yeah, I got that cooking over there.
Yeah.
Back by Sunday. Oh lordy. Sorry.
Do you have a speak and spell? Can you use the machine to talk for you?
I'll just head over to Stephen Hawking's house. Just what? He's not using it, but you know what? What a faker. Guy from Oxford, and that's his voice. Come on. What a fake accent.
The more hilarious thing was if they actually put it in the grave with him and it continued to talk.
Oh, whoa. Oh,
that's that noise.
Yeah. Battery's going to die on this eventually. Actually, it is so funny because they upgraded this technology. Speaking of like his voice, they upgraded the technology in that, but they kept the same voice. They kept to keep the samples the same.
Yeah,
because that was just his voice.
That was his voice then.
Yeah.
I mean, if he started to sound like Siri or Google, I mean, towards the end of his life, that voice tech exists. I mean, it would throw everybody off. You'd be like, who's talking?
Yeah. You know what? I think that part of the problem was he very, very briefly had like a Hugh Grant voice, and it was too big of a distraction at the various physics conventions.
Yeah, they were just getting the people in the audience were getting hot for the teacher.
Yes, it was. He should have went with like a Colin Firth, because then it's it's just sort of. I'm just very sorry. I love actually. So.
Or go full on like Cockney accent.
Just like a real Peaky Blinder.
Yeah,
Stephen Hawking. Oh no.
Oh god.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here with us. We appreciate you greatly. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. We will be back probably not next week, but maybe the week after. We're doing these once every 2 weeks, I think now. Just it's easier on people's schedules.
It gives people time.
Yeah, for sure. And Ron, I always like to leave with a pearl of wisdom from you. So feel free to leave a pearl of wisdom.
Sure. It's it's like most times. It's like again, it's remember everybody's kind of going through something at all times, and a lot of our friends are sick just after like being ran down by this event and things like that.
Mhm.
So if people in our circle have made commitments, please keep in mind that they are largely recovering
Yep.
from this big thing that they just went through. I would also say, if you're someone who follows Burger Becky on social media, she's kind of going through a health crisis right now. So reach out and talk to her, send her even if you don't really know her, just leave some kind words, because that can mean a lot for people, especially when you're going through like some health challenges and stuff. So, but if you know her more than incidentally, please reach out to her um, and talk to her, because you may not always have a chance.
Awesome.
That's it.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.